Edge Designations Revision and Exam Program for the FDP program. Hi everybody, my name is Russell Jude and I head up the FDP program on behalf of Edge Designations. Just by way of a brief introduction, Edge Designations is a prep provider for CFA, FRM, Kaya, and now very proudly for FDP as well. When I say now, I mean from the 1st of April 2023. When I mentioned that to somebody, they said, is that an April Fool's joke? No, it's not. We are very proud to be associated. We've had a long association with the Kaya guys and girls. What a fantastic relationship we've had with them. And I'm just so pleased and excited to be able to extend that to FDP going forward now as well from the 1st of April 2023. Here's our website if you want to take a look. Okay, edgedesignations.com. That's all one word. And yeah, that's what we do, designations. Okay. I want to use this particular video just by way of introduction. There is a video that precedes this video. And that video is called FDP Introduction. So if you want a little bit more about the actual program itself, what is in FDP, and you happen to have chanced upon this particular video, but this is not what you're looking for, I'll tell you why in a second, and you want a little bit more about what's in the actual FDP program itself, well, FDP Introduction is our first video. Do take a look at that one. That particular video was the very first one where we gave you a basic introduction to what is FDP, what textbooks you need, what you're going to be learning, etc., etc. The second video now, I want to handle 2 points. Number one, I want to be able to talk about what's in your FDP exam. Okay, we will talk in this video about the FDP exam. We mentioned it a little bit in the previous video. We're going to talk about it in much greater detail here in this particular video. We're going to talk about the exam, what's in there, a little bit of strategy, etc., etc. And number three is what can Edge Designations as a prep provider do for you to assist you in getting through this FDP program. We are new to the FDP space. We've been involved in CFA, FRM, Kaya for a very long time. Quite new now, of course, to the FDP space. And we will, as I say, we'll be opening up our doors on the 1st of April 23. But we will be in time for those that wish to obtain revision and exam materials for the April exam. Okay. In terms of this video, I have just put in some of the stuff that I put in the first video, but I'm not going to be spending much time on that at all. Just to talk a little bit here, okay, about the FDP program, 250-hour study time, how you become an FDP charter holder, okay. Well, you pass the FDP exam, and that's the key to this particular video. We'll talk in great detail about the FDP exam, as well as you need to pass 2 basic courses, either on R or on Python, either one. So you'll do Python Basic and Python Intermediate, or R Basic and R Intermediate. Nothing shouldn't challenge anybody overly. They are quite basic courses, and you do those with a company called DataQuest or any of those particular companies. There are, I think, 3 or 4 providers that offer those fantastic courses. Okay, and then of course you sign the code of ethics and 2 professional references. Okay. In terms of your exam, we know the various topic weights. There are 9 topics. Topic 1, Introduction to Data Science. Okay. Topic 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. All of those carry an exam weight of 5 to 12%. Okay, so what does 5 to 12% mean? We have no idea, because it could be 5% for that particular section, or they could examine it more heavily and go as high as the 12. Obviously not lower than 5, not higher than 12, but somewhere in between there. Okay, then you've got your 2 big-ish ones, which is topic 2 and topic 3, which has got between 10 and 15%, slightly higher weighting, and then the massive one in the end, which is topic 9, which of course is fintech applications. That's all the modern day stuff and all that kind of stuff, the more up-to-date materials. Okay, Let's have a quick look what's in the topics. Topic 1, Intro to Data Science. Topic 2, Linear and Logistic Regression, SVM, support vector machines, regularization and time series. You can see there's quite a nice slant over there towards regression. Topic 3, decision trees, supervised segmentation and ensemble methods. And those are your two big ones, topic 2, topic 3. Topic 4, we've got classification, clustering and naive Bayes. 5, neural networks and reinforcement learning. Topic 6, performance evaluation, backtesting and false discoveries. Topic 7, text mining. You can see we go quite detailed into the material. We do all these kind of things like text mining, neural networks, reinforcement learning, all this kind of good stuff. And topic 8, no good designation would be without an ethics section attached to it. And that's obviously topic 8, ethical and privacy issues. All of those are going to be 5 to 12. Topic 2 and 3, 10 to 15s. Topic 9 is the big one, fintech applications. Okay. We do take a look over here, guys. And as I said, I've dealt with this in the previous video, so I'm going to go through this relatively quickly. Okay. What study material do you need to go through? There are 3 textbooks. Okay. Provost, Hull, and Intro to Statistical Learning. Okay, all fantastic textbooks in their own right. Okay, we do around about 80% of Provost. You don't do the last couple chapters. I think we cover 100% of Hull. You do the entire textbook, and I can't really give you a percentage for an Intro to Statistical Learning, but you do around about 3 or 4 chapters out of that textbook. Those are 3 textbooks that you need to have. Then we've got what we call the additional readings. The additional readings are made up of FDP readings available on their website. These are the first 9. These are available on the FDP website free of charge once you register for the exam. And then you've got 6 readings that come out of the journals. The Journal of Portfolio Management, okay, Journal of Financial Data Science, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, these particular 6 readings, you purchase them directly from FDP at a charge of $100. Okay, so you can see this, the syllabus that we've got to get through for FDP is relatively chunky. Okay, and that's why they say you need approximately anywhere between 200, 250 to 300 hours worth of study time. Okay, so this is so in terms of your total study material, 3 textbooks and 15 readings altogether, 9 from the FDP website and 6 from the various journals. Okay, a fair measure of work to go through. Okay, and there are some of the study tools provided by FDP. They give you round about, okay, 110 practice MCQs and around about 8 practice constructed response questions. They also give you a full sample exam, a study guide as well, where you get all your learning objectives from. Okay, and then they give you the handbook as well. The handbook, the FDP handbook, okay, takes you through, okay, how things work within the FDP system, when you write, how you write, where you write, all the details that you need over there. It is a fantastic resource. It's available free on the website, and that is the FDP handbook. Okay. And that was just a little bit of a summary of what I've already dealt with in the very first video, an intro to FDP. If you want more detail on that, just go take a look over there then, guys, at the that first video, FDP and introduction. But this video is more dealing with the exam itself. Your exam is made up of 2 components. It's a 4-hour exam, okay, made up of 2 components, multiple choice and constructed response questions. Your first component of 80 multiple choice questions, you have 135 minutes to answer that, okay, and that makes up 75% of your total mark. If we do the maths, okay, it'll be 135 minutes divided by 80 multiple choice questions, and you divide that through and times by your 60 to get to the number of seconds, because in this game we work in seconds, okay, and you've got approximately 101 seconds per MCQ. Is that quick? Is it a lot of time? Have you got a lot of time to have a cup of coffee in the exam? Absolutely not. Okay, that 101 seconds is relatively quick. You've got to move. And of course, guys, everybody that's ever done a multiple choice exam for any of these designations, CFA, FRM, etc., Kaya, will know you have to do, if you want to pass these exams, you've got to finish. So you've got 135 minutes to do 80 MCQs. It's 101 seconds per question, and it's a little bit disproportionately weighted in favor of the MCQs. It makes up 75% of your total mark. Okay, just to give you a bit of context, CFA, well, let's start off with Kaya. Kaya are the most miserly, and then you only got 72 seconds a question. CFA a little bit more, you got 90 seconds. FRM, got 2 minutes, 24 seconds. And don't think FRM are so generous, guys. The questions are much more detailed than the others. So it just really dictates to you the level of difficulty, complexity of the question. So FDP fits somewhere in between then at 101 seconds per multiple choice question. You then take yourself a 20-minute break. Can you carry on straight away? Yes, you can. Is it advisable? No, no, no. Much better to take yourself a break. Okay. And I see I'm a bit of it should be 20 minutes break, and just to clear your heads. Okay. In terms of when do we write this exam? Okay. You can write there's 2 times that we write FDP per year, April and October. Okay. Exam window number 1 is 10th of April to the 24th of April 2023. Second exam window is the 9th of October until the 23rd of October. Okay, and that's a basic look at your exam. So just remember, guys, the exam's broken down between MCQs and constructed response, and there is your marks. Okay, 75% of marks you knock off in the first paper. Take yourself a break, come back to do the remaining 25% of the marks. Now, and I want to use this video to discuss a little bit about strategy surrounding both papers, MCQs and constructed response. But before we do that, just a quick look at where to write. Okay. When we say where to write, you've got 2 options. I think only FDP and Kaya of all the designations allow these 2 options. Option 1 is to write at a prometric testing center. The prometric testing center, okay, is an actual testing center like the guys are probably used to for CFA, FRM, etc. Kaya. You go to the testing center, your computer's waiting there for you, your keyboard, your mouse, etc. You sit down like a gentleman and you write your exam in under hopefully fantastic exam conditions. No noise, everything works, etc., etc. Okay. Some challenges with the prometric testing center. First and foremost, you must just make sure that there is a testing center within your location that you can check on the FDP website. Okay, as you can hear, I hope I'm not being too biased, but you can hear already my bias is towards option 1, the prometric testing center. Option number 2, you can also write what we call remote proctoring, RPT, remote proctoring testing. Remote proctoring testing is when you write at home or in your office, wherever you like, wherever you are comfortable. Okay, you can write over there. What does remote proctoring involve? Remote proctoring involves, okay, that you give FDP access to your computer, remotely of course. The exam is administered remotely. You've got cameras on you all the time. You have to clear your office completely. There can't be any books, papers, or anything around you. But obviously they suspect you of foul play if they were. You're not allowed to go to I hope I'm not sounding too exaggerating over here, but you can't go to the bathroom during the exam as well, because of course that would be a problem. Okay, don't ask me what happens if you do need to. I don't know. Okay, and the camera's on you all the time. You've also got to make sure you have got a constant internet connection coming through, power supply, internet connection, etc., etc. Okay, so for those that prefer that, then yes, remote proctoring is also an option. Remember, it may become a have-to option if there's no prometric testing center near you. Okay, then you've got to go remote proctoring. Okay, but generally speaking, and this is not meant as a slant in any way to Kaya, okay, but there have been issues. We've seen several issues specifically around remote proctoring on the Kaya side. Obviously, that would extend here as well. People, the screen freezing up and no one's there to help because it's difficult to try and fix the problem remotely. People lose internet connection. Okay. We had an amusing story of a guy, four questions, that's it. Remember, Kaya does 100 questions. Okay, so he was cruising along, he had done 96 questions, and boom, okay, his exam was cancelled. Okay, and what was the problem? Nobody told him. Okay, and he couldn't carry on, that was it. Four questions away from finishing. Kaya, to their credit, guys, and I can tell you something, really it's a fantastic organization, as is FDP. They resolved the problem for him and they gave him an extra day to write, a new day to write. But the problem really was a mixture of the remote proctor not telling him that he couldn't have a certain thing behind him. And on his side, he should have known not to have it as well. But okay, but they never warned him about it. They just cancelled the exam just like that. So people have had experiences. I haven't heard too many wonderful experiences on the remote proctoring side, guys, just to be perfectly honest. So my personal preference, and it's just a personal choice from experience, from a bit of an old hat, is if you can go for option one, Prometric Testing Center, in terms of that it's more reliable, number one. Generally, number two, it's also nice. You leave the house, there's no noise at these centers for the most part. Okay, you leave your house, you can go and write your exam in an exam setting. You feel like you're writing an exam as opposed to having a cup of coffee at your desk. Okay, so I always prefer option number one, but each to their own, whatever you prefer. And of course, some may not have that option. Okay, and then of course you go with the remote proctoring testing, but then just be very, very careful that you adhere to all the rules and regulations. They are very strict, and of course, rightfully so. They need to be, because they need to protect the integrity of the designation. Okay. What I want to do at this point is have a quick look. Remember, we said the exam's broken down into two components: multiple choice questions and constructed response. I want to give you a little bit of, not so much strategy, a little bit of a look in at the multiple choice questions, okay, and what you can expect over here. Number one, let's go through some of the rules around the multiple choice questions. No calculators. The use of a physical calculator is prohibited. So a lot of guys are going to say, well, can we use the HP this or the sharp that? No calculators are used. They do provide you with a scientific calculator as part of your exam. As part of the testing software, no matter where you write, is included over there a scientific calculator to allow you to do the calcs that you need. No calculator required. An equation list is not provided on the FDP exam. So all the equations that you need to know, you need to learn them off by heart. And good news, Edge has got a formula sheet for you. Okay, but there are quite a few formulas. Okay, sigmoid function, all of those kind of things. The tan function, I'm sure everyone's familiar with those. But yes, those need to be learnt all off by heart. But don't stress, we have got a formula sheet for you. MCQs, 3 or 4 possible answers: A, B, C, or A, B, C, and D. In terms of the questionings, they may be in item sets or what we call vignettes. In other words, it may present a little bit of a story first and say to you that the next 3 questions, the next 3 multiple choice questions, are all based on the information contained in this particular story, and then it'll repeat the story for you every time. But they do sometimes do that if they want to ask quite a bit of stuff on one particular section. Okay. Please don't leave any questions unanswered. There's no penalty for guessing. There's no negative marking. So if you don't know one, guess. Okay. In terms of specific performance data, in other words, what returns happened over here, anything like that, okay, is obviously more specific to return data. You don't need to know that off by heart at all. So in terms of multiple choice questions, which is your first paper, which, remember guys, your first paper is, okay, 135 minutes, okay, and that makes up 80 multiple choice questions, okay, and it is 75% of your exam. Okay, Paper number 2, constructed response. What is constructed response? For those that are not familiar with it, where else would you find constructed response? Well, you find it CFA level 3, Kaya level 2, FRM still hasn't moved across there. I think maybe that's why guys are loving it. Okay, FRM is completely multiple choice. There we go. What is constructed response? Constructed response, and look at the words. A lot of people say, is it an essay? They've heard it's an essay. You've got to write essays. No, it's not an essay at all. That's exactly the wrong thing that it is. It's not an essay at all. If you look at the words, it's a constructed response. You need to construct a response to what's being asked. Answer the question exactly, clearly, and directly. Okay, don't write a mishmash and a mush. Okay, no essays, no fancy English required at all. Okay, we'll talk about that more in a second. 2 to 4 questions in the exam. They average around about 3. Okay, I'm just going to get to this part over here. They are presented in several parts. Okay, and each part's got a stated points value. So, for example, question number 1 in your FDP exam will be headed up like that. Question 1. There will be an A, a B, a C, and perhaps a D. 2 marks, 2 marks, 3 and 3, for a total of 10 marks. That's question number 1 of your 2 to 4. Then you'll have question 2 and question 3. Probably seldom goes much as 4, but hey, they may. Okay. Constructed response questions cover any of the exam topics. Remember, we've got a total of 9 exam topics. It covers them all. It is not an essay. Okay. Each question, I'm just going to skip down over here, each part of the questions can be answered in 1 or 2 quick paragraphs. I always know when I used to mark exams, I always know, and I'm going back to when they were in paper form, okay, I always knew when I marked the constructed response paper, I always knew who would pass and who would not pass, and the reason for that is if I got a very, very thin script, then I knew, okay, this guy's for sure passed, okay. Little short answers, because remember, for constructed response, they are not essays. It's a constructed response to a specific question. You can answer them very quickly, very easily, very shortly. Just answer the question. Okay, there's no need for grammar, there's no need for spelling, there's no need for full sentences. It almost sounds like a bit of a dream. None of that is required, guys. All you need to do is answer the specific question that is being asked. No requirements for any of that. Of course, guys, you type them in. There's a little block in the computer, and you type them in there. You have got more. Don't worry about if your typing is slow. That's not a problem either. You have got more than enough time to answer the questions with even very slow typing like myself. Don't worry about that at all. Okay. Over the page over here, there is no major time pressure on this section, guys. No major time pressure on this section, as opposed to which section? MCQs. Okay, MCQs, we got a bit of time pressure, guys. You've got to move. You've got a certain amount of time, 101 seconds per question. You've got to move. Okay. There's a strong focus on knowing the material. They're quite specific, the questions, guys. So when you go through your material in terms of your study preparation, please focus a little bit more deeply on the material. Don't just skim through, yeah, I've seen that before, know a little bit about that. They do get quite specific in their questions. Okay. The challenge that everybody experiences specifically around constructed response is that unlike MCQs, there's no answer. Okay, well, there's no answer that's provided to you on the page. It's a blank piece of paper, and you have to now, okay, come up with an answer based on a blank piece of paper. It makes it, people find that a bit more challenging than MCQs. A little bit of exam technique around constructed response. For example, if the constructed response says, please give 2 examples, give 3 advantages, give 1 reason, give 2 descriptions, just give what they ask you. So if they ask you for 2 examples, give 2 examples. What happens, okay, if they ask you for 2 examples, okay, and you give 3? They don't mark the best of the three. They cross out number 3 and they just look at those two. So if number 1 was in fact right and number 3 was right, but number 2 was wrong, what do you get? Well, they've stopped looking at your marks after there. So you get 1 out of the 2. They don't look further than that. And it's just important to remember in terms of exam technique, don't give them more than they've asked for. They will not even look at it. So it's not even worth writing it. Okay, so that old approach perhaps that some may be used to, called the shotgun approach, and just put everything down, is not going to work over here, because they're only going to mark you on what they've asked you for. Anything below that just gets scratched out. Okay. What do you need to pass this exam? How much? Okay, that's the golden question. Everybody says, okay, 70%, and that is true to an extent. If you get 70% on this particular exam, you are guaranteed of a pass. However, everybody knows that the marks are graded, and to the extent, of course, that is maybe a very tough paper, the exam pass mark may be a bit lower, but 70% is a guaranteed pass. When do you get your results? 5 weeks after the exam window closes. So if you are writing perhaps in now, okay, in April, the exam window ends somewhere mid-April. Around about 5 weeks later, you can expect your results probably towards the end of May. Okay, so hopefully by now I've given everybody a little bit of information, or hopefully a lot of information, surrounding the FDP exam, surrounding what's in the exam and the composition thereof. Just very briefly, to conclude this video, I just want to show you what Edge has become an approved prep provider to FDP from the 1st of April 2023, which really, okay, we're coming into the process a little bit late for the exam cycle, but what we have done is we have put some stuff together for you, of course, just to make sure that you will have something to go in with for the FDP exam. And what we provide for you over here, okay, is option number one is what we call the revision exam program. We give you a comprehensive set. It's over 100 pages of revision notes, which takes you through the entire FDP syllabus from start to finish, including, okay, all of the, I know nobody likes to read journals necessarily, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but we go through all that for you. We give you take all the formulas out of the journals for you, and it's a lovely set of revision notes over there. We do revision videos for you. As I said, we've got a formula sheet over here, so it's one exam, okay, that we provide for you. At this late hour, we only managed to put one exam. Hopefully by the time we hit the October session, we'll have more than one exam for you, okay. And that is our option number one. It's called the revision and exam program. So it's a full revision of the syllabus in very shortened format, yes, but you get a complete set of notes, videos, revision notes, revision videos, formula sheet, and a full exam. Remember, what is a full exam? Okay, you can expect 80 multiple choice questions from us, and anywhere between 3 to 4 constructed response questions. For those that are not interested in the revision and they just want an exam, we call that the exam program. And yes, you can just purchase from us one full exam on the question bank. There we go. As I mentioned, of course, guys, we will go live on the 1st of April with all of that to make that available then to you. I've left you over here with my contact detail, okay. If you got any queries, questions, concerns, russellj@ebs.co.za, our web address where all of this is available, www.edge, nice and easy to remember, edgedesignations.com. Okay, and that is the full program. What I've got for you as well, for those that are interested, at the very back page over here, what I've done is some guys wanted a bit more detail. For example, if you look at topic number 1, which is Introduction to Data Science, and you may say, well, which textbooks cover that? Well, it's Data Science for Business, that's Provost. You need to cover chapter 1 and 2. You need to do Hull's book on machine learning, chapter 1, and an intro to stat learning, chapter 1 there as well. And that is what you would find all the material available for topic number 1 on the various textbooks. There's topic 2, and I've given all of this to you over here. I hope I'm not scaring people with this amount of work over here. And as you can see, the big one, of course, guys, over there is watch topic 9, fintech applications. But you can see when you move across to topic 9, fintech applications, which is 25 to 40% of the syllabus, it's comprised mostly of, there's all your journals, and there is your articles from the FDP website. Okay, that is us, that's Edge, that's FDP, that's your exam. I hope I've given everybody something to think about. For those that are writing now in April and then again in October, best of luck. Okay, do it like it's got to be done. Enjoy the process as well, because it's a fantastic process. It really is state-of-the-art learning, this machine learning. It's the future, and FDP have done a most fantastic, wonderful job of bringing this to us. So go out there, enjoy it, and best of luck to everybody.